So I'm going to go a little academic on you, forgive me. We're in a university. Journalists, and tech folks don't look back very much. They look either at the present or ahead. So I'm going to break that cycle and go back a little in time to talk about the history of media. I think using a software framework of version numbers that maybe 0.1 is the cave-dwelling paintings, long time ago, 15,000 years. Maybe the papyrus, the printing on something like paper, creating something like, later on, books, is a sort of 0.5, I don't know, close enough for me. The next big change is actual books. And in this case, this is the scribes, the priests who are creating books by copying the Bible into new books. Pretty familiar form, though it was being done by hand. That changed pretty dramatically right after that with Gutenberg and his printing press. Also the Bible, that's Mr. Gutenberg there in the center of that picture. And that was liberating the Word of God from the control of the priests. Fairly significant event. Maybe the political pamphlets of the revolutionary times are at kind of 1.1. Another persuasive use of printing to convince people of something. It was politics this time causing revolutions. The telegraph wasn't media precisely, but an amazing tool, and it was media in the sense that it was something transmitted over a long distance really fast, no longer the speed of a horse, but of the speed of light. The newspaper, magazine, book of the late 19th, early 20th century, kind of the pinnacle, I think, of the print era. I don't mean to compare the Times with the Titanic, forgive me, John. But this is a major thing, but not as major as broadcast. The radio comes along, right? And all of a sudden, one-to-many at the speed of light over long distances with people scaring us like Orson Welles or calming us like FDR. The TV in the mid-20th century. Clearly another major change, not as big as what we've had, but the events like the debates and then the moon landing watched by a majority of people on the planet who were in places where they could. This is sort of the pinnacle of broadcast, although I kind of hate to say that. The biggest difference, of course, in this is that instead of 3 channels, there's 300 to 500 on your average set. And now here we are. Packet switching, ones and zeros, speed of light, one to many, many to many, dramatic like the book and like the broadcast era in change. But remember the legacy model of what we did in the 20th century, which was the production of media, and then it was a manufacturing process. You manufactured it, then you put it in trucks or sent it out over the airwaves. Not what we do now. Now we create stuff, we put it online, and other people come and get it. That's totally different than what we did in the past. We should really understand how different that is, because it helps us create a whole new ecosystem. And this is the beginnings of a news ecosystem. This is not even close to where we are, but it's a start, and that's why I'm so excited, because it's going to be diverse in ways it was never diverse in the past. The possibilities when the consumers morph into not just creators but collaborators with things like Wikipedia and the things we do with these collaborative tools is immense. And we haven't even begun to figure that out, where it's going. But some of the things that are coming, this is one of my favorites. This is adding not just collaboration, but sensor data, human and machine sensors, in this case to look at the radiation around Fukushima. So I'm kind of worried about 4.0, about the taking back of control into a few hands. I don't think this scenario is the most likely one, but it's a possibility and it scares me. I worry this is closer because this is how Hollywood, the cartel, the copyright cartel, and the government, they kind of like the internet to work this way if they could do it. And that scares the crap out of me, and it should scare the crap out of you. And we have a job. We have to reassert in our future history that this is ours. It's not theirs. We're going to innovate at the edge, and we're going to save it, I hope, for ourselves. Thank you.